Good morning. How's everyone doing today? It's another bright morning up here on the 14th floor here in San Antonio, Texas. Whew, man, I got a good one for you guys today. I want to just make sure all my equipment's working here. All right, guys. So thank you for tuning in. My name is Uncle Charles. I am tuning in here for REI Labs, and we're going to be announcing something really cool today, and that is that starting next Monday, guys, pay attention. Starting next Monday, we're going to start doing series on how REI Labs created RE to help you learn strategies that you may not actually know how to do. And so on Monday, we're going to be doing a 5-day crash course on partial interest. Yep, that's right, guys. I've been doing distress title since early 2004, and that's a long time. No, I didn't do it as business. I came as the deals would come up and stuff, and so I'm really familiar with all the tactics on how to get these deals closed. And the beautiful part about this is that I got the go ahead from REI Labs to show you guys how RE is going to be able to help you actually learn the strategy if you don't know how to do it, and where to get the leads, how to do the deals, and hopefully we can turn some of you guys into more advanced real estate entrepreneurs, open up your mind to new concepts, and get you more deals. So, with that said, guys, we're going to talk a little bit about that, and then hopefully you'll join on Monday. We're going to do an announcement, and we're going to use AI to help you guys learn faster. So before you go purchase very expensive mentorships, guys, RE, which is artificial real estate intelligence built by REI Labs, has all that information in there. You can ask it any question, and it does never get tired, and it's always at your fingertips. So, what is partial interest or distressed title? Well, some people call this. Some people call partial interest when you're looking for distressed title, and what I say to folks is, you know, call it distressed title or dirty title, because partial interest is just part. It's just a subset of that. Because the focus should be to get full interest. So if you're searching for individuals who have heirship and properties, your focus should be not partial interest; it should be full interest. So there's two school of thoughts there. What's going to happen is that you're going to run into a lot of some people call it messy title. You're going to run into a lot of a messy title, and what does that mean? That means that either the property wasn't conveyed correctly years ago, maybe in the early 1950s, the 1960s, maybe last month. You're going to find properties where people passed away without a will, and you have a bunch of heirs that can't be found. Maybe you found one or two, but you need to get the rest of them. You're going to find, properties that have liens and judgments, and how do you cure those issues? You're going to find heirs that have child support or incarcerated. How do you cure those issues? So there's a lot that goes into clearing title, and and then of course in some cases you're going to have properties that have old zombie mortgages. How do you cure that? So when you're doing this business of real estate, there's a lot of different ways to go about it. You can wholesale, hotel, novate, subject to, creative financing. There's a lot of ways you can fix and flip. You can build. You can do overages, excessive funds. There's a lot of ways to do this business, but there's one niche that a few people in the industry have made pretty popular, and that's great. I support everything they do. There's one niche and it's something that I've done for many years, um, which is distressed, assets, distressed properties, distressed title, whatever you want to call it. It all falls under one category, and that's that there there's a property and there's an issue with title. How do we clear it? And your job is to figure out what that distress is. And once you do, how do we clear that up? And so that's what we're going to be talking about all next week. And if you're interested, I welcome you to join us. We'll be starting every day at 8 a.m. We're going to go for 5 days, and then we'll most likely invite everybody into a community who wants to pursue, this type of strategy. I will tell you this, that the distress title, in my opinion, has some of the highest, it is the highest, has the highest assignment fees or profits. I think that almost any other real estate strategy aside from building, and maybe I'm wrong, and I'm going to tell you something, because you could find a property that's let's say worth $1 million and has distressed title, pick it up for pennies on the dollar, and make a lot of money. The largest one I think we've ever done was 168,000, and then of course you could build a home and make nowhere near that. So some folks like to build and some folks like to look for problems, and the business of distressed title is you're looking for problems. So you're looking for two things. You're looking for people with problems. You're looking for property with problems, and if you're focused on the properties, you're gonna find the people who own them. If you're focused on the people, not necessarily, because some folks don't have any interest in properties. They don't own anything. So I always focus on the properties. And the way we do that, guys, I want to just tell you the easiest way to do it. So if you're paying attention, I'm going to tell you the easiest way to actually get started. And that is to focus on the tax delinquent list, tax delinquent. Okay. And if you focus on tax delinquent list and you stack that list, okay, with, let's just say, the estate list, estate of list. Those are people who have passed away and left property. Your probability of capturing a deal goes way up. Now, if you further stack that list with, let's say, a vacant property list, then again your probability of capturing deals goes way up. And the reason I'm going to share this stuff next week and do a online, 30-minute, 45-minute crash course for 5 days is because I'm actually looking to bring on some folks to work with me, use our AI system so you can learn very, very fast. This is something we're going to provide. And now you have to be in San Antonio to do this. We're not going to take any long distance folks right now. But next week, I'm going to be doing this 5-day breakdown, Monday through Friday, from 8 to 8:30, 8 or 8:45 live. And what I'm looking for, like I said, I'm looking for some guys that want to grind and are good at sales. So if you're good at sales, that's going to be a benefit, for you to do this type of business. But if you're good at research, also, it's going to be really good for you. So, and then of course we're going to provide the AI, so you could really learn very, very quickly, much faster than if you were doing a mentorship. Trust me, Ari is extremely fast and can teach you pretty much anything. So, guys, I got a few questions coming in. If you have a question about anything, about what I'm talking about today, send a question. If you want to ask Ari a question, send your questions in, and we'll get them answered. Let me pull something up real quick. Give me a second. Guys, so what I'm doing right now is I'm asking Ari a question about partial interest. So I'm asking it a simple question of it's saying here, what is partial interest? And in seconds, guys, it's bringing it up. And imagine wanting to learn this strategy or any strategy, and you're like, hey, I have a question. I don't know exactly what this means. And imagine you wanted to ask, let's just say, a coach or a mentor. And I don't have anything against folks who teach, but imagine you ask a question. All I did was say, hey, what is partial interest? And it starts to break it down. And then it's very, very simple, because all you have to do is continue to ask the questions. And the AI is going to answer every single question, within seconds. You don't have to wait for a Zoom or a community call. You don't have to wait for somebody to call you back. You can just ask it. And so next week, we're going to be talking about that. Some of the deals that I've done when it comes to partial interest has to do with taking over LLCs. So LLCs that are inactive, that hold property. I'm gonna talk about how we find these deals, and those are really good candidates. And a lot of folks think, like, how would you take over an LLC if it's inactive, it's getting foreclosed? Well, that's what that's what we're going to be talking about. And I'm hoping that we can pick up, personally here at Homesell, I'm hoping we can pick up some good folks to come in and start doing some deals. That's what I'm looking for. So LLCs is big, especially the ones that are forfeited and inactive. And then, of course, you have MERPs. So MERPs are Medicaid Estate Recovery Program. Guys, those are big deals. A lot of times you can make really, really good money on them, because most folks pass them up. Now, we've created a website for this. So you can't really look up MERPs. The best way to get MERPs is to deal with a lot of title companies and just let folks know that you do MERPs. And if you're one of those guys that goes online and can just really, really market, what you're going to find is you're going to get MERPs every single month from people from all over. And there's a way to remove them. So there's a way to remove the MERPs. There's a way to outlast the MERPs. So if you are interested in that, we're going to be talking about stuff like that. And then, of course, finding people that can't be found. You got to have specialized tools. We'll be talking about that. And then we're going to be talking about how do you actually purchase interest in a property, and how do you recover the entire property. So I'm going to be doing a crash course on that. And we're going to show you how we're going to use RE, which is the artificial real estate intelligence, to get that going. And for those of you who don't understand even what I'm talking about, with RE, you will understand very, very quickly. Your learning curve is going to be it's going to just crash, because you'll be able to get information as soon as you request it. So next week, guys, every day, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m., we're going to be talking about a very, very advanced real estate strategy. And I hope you'll join me, because we're going to be dropping some value. We're going to be using the AI, and we're hoping to pick up some folks to actually do some business with. With that said, guys, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Stay tuned. I will elaborate a little bit more about what we're going to be talking about on Monday. And if you're interested let me put it this way. If you're someone who is primarily in San Antonio, at least for right now, who's young, energetic, wants to learn, is good at sales, and wants to learn how to do this business, and you're super focused on just the business, hit me up, send me a DM, and we'll see what we can do to get you in and crank out some deals. With that said, guys, this is Uncle Charles. We'll see you again tomorrow.